In the news tonight, the court, the Bar Association and insurers concerned about the length of time taken to settle injury cases. Local and regional officers trained to be more effective in the fight against illegal fishing. New legislation coming to increase fairness in the market and improve the island's international competitiveness. And in sports, Wales get an historic first victory in the CONCACAF Caribbean Champions Cup.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening, I'm Lisa Broom. Thank you so much for tuning in. In our top story tonight, millions of dollars are being tied up because personal injury matters are taking too long to be processed and settled. And that is the concern of Chief Justice of Barbados, Leslie Haynes, the Barbados Bar Association, and the General Insurance Association of Barbados, Inc. So much is this issue a major concern that the Bar Association organized a two-day in-person workshop on court litigation and personal injuries being held at Sandals Royal. Anesta Henry has that story.
Personal injury matters are taking well over 5 years and sometimes as long as 15 years to be settled. And the Chief Justice, Bar Association, and the representative body for the insurance sector all agree this vexing issue should not be happening. They also agree varying factors contribute to this frustrating situation. Chief Justice, the Honorable Justice Leslie Haynes, says while personal injury is the bread and butter of the majority of single legal practitioners, they must understand the range of settlement and the evidence necessary to support the claim.
The claim comes in at $1.5 million, which is eventually settled for $60,000 or $70,000. It takes 5 years to do that. Why? Because the claimant quantified the claim way beyond the region, the average, the scale.
The Chief Justice says sometimes there may not even be a settlement, which is not fair to the client.
Because you have your client who suffered an injury, liability is not in dispute, and the client is strung out there for the simple reason that you do not understand the range of settlement between yourself of the award of the claim.
And Barbados Bar Association President Kay Williams agrees that sometimes personal injury cases are hugely inflated.
And as a result, you have to go back to the basic levels and begin to build back the claim. That takes too long because when people are tied to that inflated figure, they tend to not want to settle at a lower figure.
The outgoing president says it is also taking quite a bit of time for medical reports related to personal injury claims to be produced.
We understand and appreciate that doctors are professionals who are burdened with a heavy schedule, but a client should not have to wait for years for a medical report.
Meanwhile, the General Insurance Association of Barbados is working with the Bar Association and the Barbados Association of Medical Practitioners to put protocols in place to ensure personal injury claims are settled as soon as possible.
We're also working together with the both associations to work with the Barbados Association of Medical Practitioners to ensure that the medical reports that insurance companies receive are adequate for making decisions to assist with settling personal injury claims.
Themed From Interview to Judgment, Strategies in Personal Injury and Civil Practice, the workshop is designed to equip members of the legal profession with tools aimed at greater efficiencies and reducing the backlog of personal injury cases. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
The regional security system has strengthened its fight against illegal fishing. 15 officers from across the Caribbean graduated from the RSS's Fisheries Prosecution and Interdiction course here in Barbados. Deanza Roberts has more.
Graduates from 5 RSS member states, Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Dominica, Grenada, St. Lucia, and 2 non-RSS countries, Belize and Jamaica, completed 5 weeks of blended training, 2 weeks online followed by 3 weeks of intensive practical sessions. The program equips law enforcement and fisheries officers to detect, investigate and prosecute illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing, known as IUU. Director of Training at the Regional Security System Training Institute, Lieutenant Commander Brian Roberts, says protecting marine resources is important.
This program, first developed and delivered in 2017, has now become one of the flagship training initiatives of the RSS Training Institute. With the exception of the unavoidable pause during the COVID-19 pandemic, it has been offered consistently for almost every year and has grown in stature, impact, and recognition across the CARICOM region. From its inception, this course has represented far more than technical training. It has symbolized our collective regional commitment to the protection of our marine resources.
Organizers plan to seek Caribbean vocational qualification status for the course, giving graduates a credential recognized across the region.
Graduates, today you stand as part of a growing group of specialized officers from across CARICOM who are on the front line of fighting against IUU fishing. I encourage you to take what you have learned here and apply it diligently. Share your knowledge with your colleagues, be role models of professionalism, integrity, and courage. And above all, remember that you carry the responsibility not only of law enforcement, but of stewardship, protecting a resource that belongs to this and future generations of Caribbean people. Looking ahead, the RSS Training Institute intends to seek approval to have this program upgraded to a Caribbean vocational qualification. This will further enhance the recognition and portability of the certification you have earned, ensuring that it carries even greater weight across the region.
Officials say the graduates will strengthen border security and fisheries enforcement throughout CARICOM, helping to ensure the region's oceans remain a source of food and income for generations to come. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
A week after the Barbados Fire Service sounded the alarm regarding fire hazards within the city, an access test in Swan Street today highlighted the extent of the problem. It was conducted to simulate emergency response measures and ensure public safety. Chief Fire Officer Errol Maynard spoke about the outcome.
A team from the Barbados Fire Service, supported by members of the Barbados Police Service, conducted an access test of one of our large appliances along Swan Street. It took approximately 30 minutes for the appliance to travel from the junction of Swan Street and Tudor Street to the top junction with High Street. We are pleased to report that the exercise was successful, with strong cooperation from the majority of vendors and store operators.
Well, the fire chief also noted that a number of challenges presented themselves which would impact response time.
The entry point from Tudor Street proved particularly difficult, as the space was too narrow for both vendors to remain in place and the appliance to maneuver safely. In addition, several umbrellas require repositioning to avoid overhanging into the roadway, and store owners are reminded to avoid placing excessive merchandise outside their premises, as this obstructs sidewalks and create competition with street vendors. We also observed that a number of fire hydrants were obstructed, which were addressed on the spot.
Coming up on Newsnight, Barbados continues to modernize its legal framework. The Barbados National Standards Institution says accurate measurement is critical to the island's economic future. At an awareness session today, the agency outlined sweeping changes coming with a new metrology bill. Deanza Roberts has that story.
The science of metrology touches everything, from the food you buy to the fuel in your car, but Barbados' main law in this area dates back to 1979. Presenting remarks on behalf of the chairman of the Barbados National Standards Institution, the BNSI, Chief Technical Officer Renata Seeley says the weighing methods must be modern.
The new metrology framework speaks directly to Barbados's economic future. the integrity of our domestic marketplace, and our position within the global trading system. It represents a critical step in Barbados's journey towards strengthening our national quality infrastructure and seeks to ensure that our nation keeps pace with the rapidly evolving world of measurement science, backed by the appropriate enabling legislation, that is, the new Metrology Bill. As many of you are aware, metrology, the science of measurement, is advancing rapidly all around the world.
That's why government plans to repeal the old act and replace it with the Metrology Bill, giving the island a modern framework that meets World Trade Organization and international standards.
In this regard, the government of Barbados has taken a decision to repeal the old act and replace it with a more modern, fit-for-purpose piece of legislation, now in the form of the Metrology Bill. This new bill represents a forward-looking approach to how we manage measurements in Barbados. It brings our laws into harmony with international best practices, ensures fairness in trade, and protects both businesses and consumers. It is designed to strengthen confidence in our marketplace and position Barbados to participate fully and credibly in the global trading environment.
Accurate measurements mean fairness at the fuel pump, in supermarkets, and in manufacturing, protecting consumers and helping local businesses compete globally. She stresses that success depends on stakeholder engagement, urging businesses and citizens to join consultations as the new law takes shape.
The new Metrology Bill is not just a piece of legislation. It is an investment in the economic future of Barbados, in consumer confidence, and in our capacity to contribute to the global community the confidence that is required for our exports and international trade.
The BNSI will launch a national campaign to educate the public on the bill, aiming for a smooth transition to the updated metrology framework. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
Also addressing the workshop was Minister of Innovation, Industry, Science and Technology, Jonathan Reed. He says Barbados has begun the next phase of implementing its new Metrology Act, legislation designed to guarantee accuracy in trade and protect consumers. Minister Reed said the public must be engaged so people do not feel disadvantaged.
There's going to be a cultural shift that I am, frankly, a little bit, I think we have to be careful in how we do it and be sensitive in the reality that people have ways that they have always used to establish, I weigh a pound, this is how I measure certain things in distance, this is how I measure things in certain ways. And so the cultural shift of using new language will come with some resistance. That's the nature of it. And the reality is, how do we get to international standards? By being grounded in obviously local experience. And fundamentally, what is it for me to use this new type of framework as opposed to a framework that I'm accustomed to using? It'll take a little bit of time.
The Ashley Lashley Foundation has kicked off its EcoFit youth program at West Terrace Primary, aiming to instill environmental responsibility in the next generation. The program will be rolled out in 10 schools, as Deanza Roberts tells us.
Project manager with the foundation, Kaylee Grant, says this year the EcoFit youth program will reach 10 schools, promoting topics such as climate awareness.
We're here at West Terrace Primary School for the start of the EcoFit Youth Program 2025. This year we will be going into 10 schools, and the focus of the program is health, climate and the environment. This year there is also a special focus on the 5 R's of reduce, reuse, recycle, refuse and repurpose, and where we teach the kids all about the circular economy and how it's best to use the materials more than once, how it is best to repurpose them and find new uses for them rather than continuously buying new stock all the time. And we also push the idea of being healthy and being physically active, having a balanced diet, eating lots of fruits and vegetables and drinking water.
Meanwhile, teacher Tamara Etchell says she is happy that the foundation selected the school for this year's launch.
The collaboration between the Ashley Lashley Foundation and West Terrace Primary started last school year when I wanted somebody to come and speak to the Class 2 students in regards to using the 3 R's. So they came in and they actually taught them 5 R's. That has started our relationship, which then flourished. They asked if we can be the hosting school to launch their EcoFit program, which we decided to do. So we're here now, and we're going to continue seeing how it goes throughout the school year with all of the challenges that they're going to give us, and see what our students can do throughout this school year in connection with the Ashley Lashley Foundation and the EcoFit Youth.
Foundation founder Ashley Lashley praised the school for embracing the challenge and disclosed that they are introducing a new element to the program this year.
It's the first time that we've ever engaged with West Terrace School in an activity, and the essence of the EcoFit Youth Program is to talk and promote to students the importance of maintaining a healthy lifestyle, but also teaching them about the 5 R's of reduce, reuse, recycle, repurpose, and refuse. But this year we're bringing an ocean twist to the 5 R concept, and what we've also recognized is that due to the increase of temperatures, many of these teachers have been asking for donations of fans to the students, and through the EcoFit Youth Program, what we really want to do through the Ashley Lashley Foundation is to create and assist schools with having that safe and comfortable learning environment for students to thrive.
Also on board is Harris Paints. Vice President of Operations John Marshall explains their involvement.
I'm here to introduce today the Grain Paint Rescue alongside the Ashley Lashley Foundation and their EcoFit Youth Program. What this is essentially is most homeowners might buy paint, they might use some of it, might not use all of it. They might keep spare bits around to use at some time in the future. What we don't want though is for it not to be used and to end up in the landfill sometime. So what we are going to launch today is to encourage the students and their parents to bring in any unused paints that they have at home, any water paint, doesn't matter what brand it is, it could be Harris or Berger or any of the other brands. Bring it in and we will replace it with a fresh set of paint for the school. Right? We will then use that unused paint to convert it into something that we can use in the future.
The EcoFit Youth Program is now officially underway, planting the seeds of healthy living and environmental awareness in schools across the island. Organizers say this is just the first step toward creating a generation that thinks green and lives well. I'm Deanza Roberts for CBC News.
Sports Night is brought to you by Power In. Pause is power. And by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after.
Sports time now. Damien Best is standing by with the details. Good evening, Damien.
Yeah, good evening to Lisa. Good evening to our viewers and listeners. This one first up. Top local football club Weymouth Wales have won their first game of the CONCACAF Caribbean Champions Cup, defeating Juventus de Cayes of Haiti last night in their second group tie. Playing in the Dominican Republic, Wales were victorious 2-1 thanks to a brace from Shaquille Stewart. We have highlights.
Corner whipped in, flick towards goal, and it's Wales who opened the scoring. Shaquille Stewart with a fine header. And they take the lead here on the road. It's driven into the box, first time parried away. Prima steps up with a big time save to keep the lead intact. The header there will find the equalizer. Onelson Durante brings Juventus level. Since going down, they've shown industry, they've shown threat. And now they show a goal. It's 1-1. What a finish. Point blank for Wales to retake their lead. On the double, Shaquille Stewart has another one. And if you thought his first one was good, this one's even better. Unmarked, and that's some finish. With the inside of his left foot, scoops it home.
Well, after 2 games, Wales have jumped to third place in Group B on 3 points. The winner and second place of each group will qualify for the semi-finals. Well, the Barbados senior women's football team are into the final of the 2025 WIFA Women's Football Tournament being played in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In their final group match last night, the Barbadian women dominated Dominica 7-0. Rihanna Cyrus and Acacia Small each netted a brace in the commanding victory.
Stevenson boots this one into the 6-yard area. Goalkeeper Daniel
what a goal.
Has misjudged it, I believe, but a good attempt there by Stevenson. We have Stevenson coming away with it. Stevenson looking, comes across to Sutherland. Sutherland picks up, back into Stevenson. Good neat pass. He heaps it forward, looking for a Small. She's onside, but coming in from the right and completing the job is Hope Downs. Tekwa Hope Downs makes it 2. Stout cannot maintain control. Falls down for Stevenson, who pushes it into the part of Small. Small is going to score. And again, some touches are coming and going for Dominica, but this time is Acacia Small for Barbados. Plays it to Aline. Aline has one to contend with. She lays it across, finds Cyrus. Cyrus is looking, and she was looking to take a shot. She did take a shot. Giving some good advice. Johnson takes a good shot. It's going to score.
Downs comes across, and there was Holford being hustled off it. Comes back to Cyrus. Cyrus still with it. She given some space, looking to work her way down. Comes back to Holford. Holford finds Casey Small, shot and goal.
Aline find Watson James over to the right, still with Aline. She's been operating with a lot of space and time. Hazel comes forward. Cyrus scores. Hazel did not command her space. She did move very early, but hesitated in her collection. Yes. And that's the end of this encounter. Dominica and Barbados. Barbados coming out victorious, 7-0.
Haynesville secured the under-17 title at the recently concluded Summersal Community Youth Football Cup in St. James. Haynesville eased to a 3-2 win over Atlas in the final, while in the under-13 showdown, Soccer BIM won a penalty shootout against Potential Ballers after 0-0 scoreline in regulation time. We have a report on the under-17 showdown.
Summersal final under-17 matchup featuring Haynesville in black versus Atlas. 11th minute ball played through for Roger Collins in his element. That is goal number 1. Haynesville take the lead. 2 minutes later, Atlas responded with some expert finishing as well. Wonderful ball to release. Kevin Bishop into space, and on the half volley, what a strike. Gotta put it in slow motion, please. Clinical is an understatement. Atlas won, Haynesville won. Haynesville got a gift before the break via some sloppy work at the back, and Shakori Scott, like taking candy from a baby. You could tell the coaching staff and the supporters were overjoyed. 2-1, the scoreline. Atlas had a chance to equalize when 2 centre-backs were split mid-pitch. The goalkeeper hesitates but comes off his line to make life difficult. A big let-off wide of the target. Second half business, no change of ends. 49th minute, Haynesville looking razor sharp in the attacking third. Expertly weighted pass from Collins. Scott on his bike. That's his brace. It's Haynesville 3, Atlas 1. The boys in shocking pink got some reprieve when they were awarded a penalty in the 52nd minute. Player goes down at the top of the 18. Referee says that's a penalty. Up steps Bishop from 12 yards. Hammered home. A consolation in the end as Haynesville takes the under-17 title 3-2 over Atlas. Damien Best, CBC Sports.
September continues to be a good month for Fortress Caribbean. Partner Peter Anders says it augurs well for a good year.
Our funds at Fortress are up. The Caribbean Growth Fund is up about 11% year to date. Our US dollar World Growth Fund is up 13%. And even in the boring bond world, we're looking at gains of 4 to 5% in our bond funds. On the equity side, Yes, U.S. stocks are stronger. Yes, Caribbean stocks are kind of flat, as often they are. The real secret weapon this year has been things outside the U.S., so what we call international and emerging markets shares. Our emerging markets fund is up about 40% year to date. A lot of cheap stuff in China, Brazil, even places like Greece have rallied a lot this year, from what we call very, very cheap to now just really cheap.
Well, the financial expert says nothing moves in a straight line and attention should be paid to profit margins and any slowdown in the U.S. labor market.
We've got two-year bonds in the States yielding 3.5%, which would suggest that investors are already thinking rates will continue going lower this year and into next year. The question now, though, is how fast can the Fed cut? What are investor expectations? And what happens around the economy as the Fed cuts more? So we'd be in the camp of thinking yes to the Fed cutting more. However, it's going to be a rare situation where you're going to have everything still being pretty good in the economy as the Fed cuts. So don't be surprised to see a little bit of choppiness, maybe some concern about the economic conditions. And we need now, and especially now always, to be careful of high expectations.
In tonight's Prime Minister's Cup team profiles, we'll hear how first-timers Benfica will be aiming to hit their mark early in the group stage.
Second division side Benfica will be hungry for success when they make their debut in the 2025 edition of the Prime Minister's Cup football competition. In Group C, Benfica will have to navigate fixtures against Premier League teams in Pride of Gall Hill and Wharton. Additionally, they have to contend with a former Premier League powerhouse in Notre Dame. However tough the fixtures are, new head coach Christian Freeman says preparation will be the key.
I ain't changing much in the team. You guys are well prepared, guys fit. So we're just working tactically on these slight changes from the different coaches, and obviously because it's a different competition, different opponents, we're working hard on that. Generally, is youth between the ages of 16 and, let me say, 24, 25. Got a couple more experienced players over 30, over 35. It's a good blend. The age groups range right across the team.
Benfica finished second in their zone in Division 2 behind Parishland, and Coach Freeman has been working on a few key areas.
For me, it's looking like a bit of nerves because they're new in the competition and it's a major competition, so they're putting a lot of stress on themselves. So sometimes they get that little bickering, but we're working on our cohesiveness, we're working on that, we making sure we stay calm, stay focused, and get the job done. Well, if you follow football, you would see sometimes the underdogs come out on top. So what we're doing, we're working hard on our team shape, we're working hard on our discipline. That's what's going to take us forward. Obviously, you know the opponents in Premier League, our zone at least, got in 2 Premier League teams. We know we just got to spend a lot of time off the ball, stay fit, stay focused, and we'll make it through.
And that's our news for tonight. On behalf of the entire team, thank you so much for tuning in. Good night.